get started on the video, I'd like to ask you guys to go ahead and hit the bell icon next to the subscribe button and hit the notification checkbox. That way you guys don't miss any future uploads from me and you become part of the notification squad. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the video. What's up, people of YouTube? This is Roy here, bringing you guys another video to my channel, and today we are going to be talking about the top 10 favorite features being added into Call of Duty World War II or being brought back from other games. Just the favorite features overall from the community that I had vote on a poll, and basically this is what they feel like are the most exciting or best features coming to Call of Duty World War II. Like I said before, I did have this voted on by the community, and it's not picked by myself. I gave the options and I let everybody else vote. There was about 2,600 votes on this poll, which is a pretty large number. So that's basically what this video is going to be about today. Now, before I get into that, I do want to have my question of the day. And today's question of the day is going to be, what is your favorite kind of movie? So there's, comedy movies, there's action movies, horror movies. I personally like action movies the most, I think, over pretty much anything. I like the story and the stuff that happens in them. But that's pretty much my favorite type of movie. Go ahead and comment yours down below, and then I will go ahead and get right into the video. So at number 10, we have the circular minimap feature. This was something that I wasn't real sure I was going to like going into it. I kind of thought that this was going to hinder how much of the minimap we can actually see, but I think it's a pretty good improvement considering they also add the little notches for the general direction in which an enemy is shooting. So that is at number 10, or if you want to look at it this way, the lesser viewed favorite from the Call of Duty World War II beta or going into Call of Duty World War II. That's basically where that stands. Moving on to number 9, we have no health regeneration in campaign or reloading like from bullets found on the ground and stuff like that. This is really exciting to me. I feel like it's going to add a lot to the campaign. I feel like it's going to make it feel more special. You're not going to feel so much like a super soldier, which is probably what they were going for. So I'm pretty excited about that, and I hope that it transitions well, or as well as I'm thinking it will, over into the actual game. Moving on to number 8 is diving, which I personally think that they should have kept sliding, but diving is in the game, and this is something that people are, reasonably excited for. I guess it's kind of nostalgic. It doesn't feel as useful to me as diving, but it is what it is. If you guys enjoy it, then there's a reason why it's there, right? Moving on to number 7, we have the revamped supply drop system, or supposedly revamped supply drop system. Kind of a combination of I'm hoping like previous games like MWR and IW. I hope they just kind of mix it together and get a good supply drop system out of that, where it doesn't feel super scammy. At number 6, one of the things that I am the most excited about is the weapon inspect feature. They added this weapon inspect feature in MWR, and it's kind of like CSGO, and I absolutely love it. I think that this is super, super cool. It makes there feel like a whole new reason to get really, really cool camos, is because you can inspect it on the guns. Like, I just think that's so awesome, and it can add a lot to the game. And maybe even down the line, there can be different types of weapon inspect, like, ways, like different ways that you can inspect the weapon itself. I don't know, sounds kind of weird, but I feel like they could do a lot with this. Moving on to number 5, we have the 1v1 pit, which honestly I don't really care about. I feel like it could make for some entertaining YouTube videos, but the 1v1 pit is something that Call of Duty hasn't really seen before. We've had Cage Match, which is kind of like that, but I feel like this is going to be one exclusive area that everybody knows that this is where you 1v1 at in Call of Duty World War II, and that's pretty cool. I think that's unique, and maybe it's something that we can see in the future in different Call of Duty games. Number 4 here is something controversial, kind of. We have the division system. So some people wish that we still had the Pick 10 system. Some people really like the divisions. Some people are just kind of in the middle. Some people just want the old MWR, MW2, and 3 like create a class system. I personally, I feel like it's a little too restrictive still. I feel like there's some things that they need to kind of loosen up on. I feel like we should be able to have 1 or 2 attachments on our secondary by itself. I don't feel like we should have to choose a perk slot or basic training slot just to have an attachment on my secondary. I also think there should be another area for basic training. I feel like we should be able to have two of those instead of just one. And I get that each basic training is basically like a super perk, but this is what I feel like should be done. It would make it feel a little less restrictive in my opinion. Moving on to number 3, we have the new scary zombies type, which is, it kind of feels like a horror game to me, just on what I've seen, the trailers and stuff like that. This is exciting. This is a cool feature that they're adding, a cool addition to the traditional zombies. They have said it's going to be a lot similar to, you know, old school regular zombies with the waves and the perks and stuff like that. So I'm glad that that's going to be happening, and I'm looking forward to that. I've just never been really good with horror games, so I don't know how well I'm going to cope with playing basically a scary game in Call of Duty. It'll be weird, and I am looking forward to it, but I'm also not looking forward to it, if that makes sense. Moving on to number 2, my personal favorite, the thing that I'm looking forward to the most, is the headquarters option in Call of Duty World War II. So, basically, it's a giant tower from Destiny. It's a giant social space, and I'm hoping that it is super cool. Like, I like the tower in Destiny, or the farm in Destiny 2, however you want to look at it. I really like that, but I feel like it's not that crucial. I want headquarters to be crucial. I want there to be a reason to be there. And I think they're working on that, you know, with the firing range, the 1v1 pit, special areas that you can go to when you prestige, supply drops, I'm sure will be there, leaderboards, things like that. Probably other little competitions we don't even know about yet. I really, really am looking forward to headquarters, and I hope that it is really good, and I hope that they manage it well. Before I get to the number 1 pick here, I do have an honorable mention, and that honorable mention is play of the game. Now, a lot of people are not happy about play of the game, and the reason why this is an honorable mention is because I forgot to throw it on the list with all the others. I don't know how I managed to forget that. That's one of the big things that they've added to the game, or changed about the game. A lot of people, especially trick shotters and stuff like that, are not happy that play of the game is a thing, right? Like, they want to be able to jump off the map doing 600 spins in 3 seconds, which, if that's what you like to do, that's what you like to do, and get the final kill, and that be the final kill that everyone sees. And I get that. I do, because it is kind of an impressive thing to do, but I think that overall play of the game is an improvement on the system in general. They might need to tweak, you know, how they decide what the play of the game is, because sometimes it feels a little wonky to me. But overall, I think that this is definitely an improvement. Michael Condrey did say that in Search and Destroy, it will be final kill cam and not play of the game, which is something that I think that people will be happy about, but I think that most of all, people want free-for-all to be a regular traditional kill cam, like your final kill cam. Now, moving on to number 1, we have the War game mode. This is probably the second thing that I'm the most excited for in Call of Duty World War II, because playing the War game mode in the beta itself was incredibly fun. I had so much fun playing the War game mode, and if they do it right, if they have enough maps in there, if they have enough variety with the objectives that you have to do, this has the chance to be something that Call of Duty has never seen before. Something that pretty much, yeah, just Call of Duty has never seen before, because Battlefield has a mode very similar to this, but because of Call of Duty's nature and how fast-paced it is and the way that it plays, it's foreign to people who play Call of Duty and pretty much only Call of Duty. So I think that they can add a lot to this. They could make this basically its own little mini section of the game. You know, you have campaign, zombies, multiplayer, and it's if they do it right, it won't just be a game mode. It'll be a whole nother beast, a whole nother thing on top of the game itself. And I think that that can be really, really good for Call of Duty. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think that this Call of Duty has the chance to change all of the Call of Duties in the future to an extent. I feel like this Call of Duty has an opportunity to shape the way Call of Duty is made from here on out. Anyways, guys, deuces.